And second, I will be reflected on me because I am Puerto Rican. But with this one, I tell you that to me, I always respect everybody, and thanks to God, when I grew up, I was raised, and when my mother and father never told me to hate anyone, or they never told me to dislike anybody because of their race or color. We never talk about that. The matter of fact, I started listening to this stuff when I came to this state. So to me, I would say that this is something that I love everybody.
1966, MVP of the '71 World Series, where he played all out.
The greatest right fielder in the game of baseball, Roberto Clemente.
16 All-Star games. You see him run, you see him hit, and you could just tell he had a swagger. The way he moved, and when he would run, the helmet would fly off. There was something about him, it was magical.
I don't care one way or the other. If I'm good enough to play here, I have to be good enough to be treated like the rest of the players. So I don't want to be put in the bathroom because I came here, I'm from Puerto Rico. I want to be right there in front of everybody.
Everybody wanted to be number 21. We had him up on this pedestal that he was larger than life.
Like any person that comes for a job, and every person that comes for a job, no matter who he is or what kind of a race or color he is, if he do the job, he should be treated like white.
It's just something about Puerto Rico that we love it so much. It's always going to be my home. Puerto Rican pride.
Oh, what a play from J.J. Barea. J.J. is looking dynamite. The littlest guy on the floor does it again.
The Guadalajara Country Club is a beautiful golf course. There are a few others in Puerto Vallarta that I really enjoy, and I go there in the off-season to practice. So, you know, it's not only about golf. You know, golf is a good excuse to go out and play, but at the same time, the Mexican culture is amazing. You know, we have so much to offer, and you know, I want to say that I'm very proud to be Mexican, and I think it's just a great culture.
For Barea, it all comes back to where he's from.
The people in Puerto Rico, they're enjoying this more than anybody else. Puerto Rican pride, can't even describe it, it's everything.
For our project, we wanted to gain a deeper insight into the role that Latinidad plays in sports. We interviewed 3 Latinx student athletes here at Dartmouth and asked them to tell us about their experience as a Latinx student athlete. In addition, we wanted to understand how their cultural background has influenced their sport they ended up pursuing. We interviewed Christopher Palacios, goaltender of the men's soccer team, Ice Canonis, center on the women's basketball team, and was also awarded the team's most valuable player, and Ubaldo Lopez, outfielder and first baseman on the Dartmouth baseball team.
Background.
Yeah, so I was born in Washington, D.C., currently live in Northern Virginia. My mom's side of the family is from New England. She was born in Washington, D.C. also, but grew up in Lenox, Massachusetts. And then my dad's side of the family is from Mexico. He was born in Mexico City, grew up there for a few years until college, and then went to college here in the United States. And my family, or his family, still lives there.
Yeah, I'm from San Diego, California, and both of my parents are Puerto Rican, and they came from Puerto Rico to the States. My dad first came to San Diego, and my mom went to Monterey for the Navy. My dad just came because the family came, just to start new opportunity.
Yeah. I'm from Miami, Florida originally, but my mom is from Cuba, and my dad's from Venezuela, and they're first generation immigrants. So I grew up kind of like in a Cuban Venezuelan household, and especially living in Miami, you don't get away from that, whereas if you go to other places in the U.S., you might get away from your heritage. There we speak Spanish at home. They get mad at me when I speak to them in English and stuff like that. And so it's really the Hispanic culture is really driven into me since a young age.
To Dartmouth.
So I got recruited here to play baseball, and originally I wasn't too comfortable going so far away from home, but I kind of wanted to see how the rest of the U.S. is, because as I said before, Miami, it's a different place. It's a whole different subset. Most of my friends are Hispanic, and so I kind of want to branch out and see who else I could meet and just get more of a centered view, a more overall view of the world.
Sport.
Definitely being part Mexican got me into this sport. My dad played soccer when he was younger, and he's really into soccer. My mom a little bit, but not as much. So definitely that's what got me into this sport. And then playing with other Latinx athletes when I was growing up, made my experience a little different. Definitely beneficial because the Latinos and Hispanics are definitely into soccer, so that definitely helped my passion.
Up for you?
Well, growing up, it would actually I didn't think too much of it because I was the majority. But I've realized now in college that's not the case, and that's really been eye opening for me, especially now. I play with a lot of just white kids, and it's in the summer I'm in places like New York and California, like Upper California, where there's not that big Latin influence, and it's cool because of baseball. You're able to connect with it because baseball is so centered around the Latin community. So guys try to reach out to you and try to see what your culture is all about, and you get to expose them to songs, music, dance, just foods, and it's pretty gratifying. And not just I'm also not super Hispanic either, so I've been taught other things by people who were actually born in countries like Venezuela and Cuba, and so I get to immerse myself more into the culture.
As a thing, I think it got more pronounced my senior year because I was the darkest person, and I am not dark. So to say that I was the darkest person is a little interesting. But I started to embrace who I am, and really just made it my own thing. If I'm gonna be this dark person on a white team, then that's just what I'm going to be.
An athlete, awesome.
As a Latinx student athlete, there's not really too many people like you, and so you realize that kind of right off the bat. But at the same time, you don't feel alone either because your teammates can all relate with what you do, and so because you're with them so much, a lot of that part comes out of you. But at the same time, you're influenced by other things. I've picked up some things that I wouldn't have if I went home. Same thing with social life. Social life here is different from social life in Hispanic communities, whereas we play dominoes, we dance way more, we're way louder, whereas here it's just a different culture. And sometimes you come out with that culture and you're wait, this isn't it, and so you kind of have to adjust to your surroundings.
Definitely my dad started off because he played soccer, so I wanted to follow in his footsteps. And then he really got me into the sport. And then also my high school coach, who's also Hispanic, really helped me out. And I was with him for 4 years. And we got really close, and I still see him when I go back home and everything.
It doesn't really have anything to do with heritage, I guess, because he played. I was thrown into softball, which was really big in my family. Baseball, softball is really big. All my cousins do it. But that just didn't stick with me, and so I guess basketball just...
Definitely, my parents, they were a big part of who I was, but also my brother, and I've had a bunch of close friends growing up that they pushed me to be who I am. My parents more so than anything because they kind of kept me who I was, and especially when you're a kid, it's really easy to mold yourself after people. So you'll talk and walk like your best friend, even though that's not who you are. Whereas your parents try to they kind of showed you grew up with them and they molded you, and so you follow a lot with what they do. But at the same time, friends have also pushed me, especially in the aspect of baseball, not so much as the culture.
Perfect.
Definitely when you come on a visit, check out the community, and I definitely felt that when I came here, that it was a really accepting community, and that I was going to feel really comfortable and all.
I think culture really helps when you have that support system, but it's not entirely necessary. I found a family with people who aren't from my culture here at Dartmouth. So whatever, I wouldn't just say strictly academics, I wouldn't just say strictly basketball, I would say whatever place makes you the most comfortable in who you are.
Don't be
awesome.
don't be embarrassed of your Hispanic heritage. Like, it's a really cool culture, and like people once they like learn it, a lot of people love it, and you know, you make more friends, and you get to like immerse other people into it, and you get to teach people something too, while at the same time take something away from everyone around you, whether you're like black or white or whatever. You could learn something about everyone else just by looking at their culture and what they teach you. So, yeah.
Latino Remix, let go. Quisiera regresar el tiempo y cambiar errores. Sé que todo fue mi culpa y te causé dolores. Espero que de volver tú tengas intenciones, porque hoy estoy aquí.